Joining us now is not Ojinika Okwe. It's Sheiton Atigani with stories trending around the world. Hello, Sheiton.
That's fine. I'm sure you all miss Oji. She'll be back soon.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling her until she does. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning. It looks as if the fell cues have not affected you. You're still looking very fresh. You. Oh.
You're looking good. Nigeria is not touching you.
It is. Oh. Well, let's kick off what's trending. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. Starting here, of course, in Nigeria, the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has presented the first sample of premium motor spirit, commonly known as petrol. Dangote presented on Tuesday during a broadcast here on Arise News at his refinery in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State. The refinery, with a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, has been engaged in a test run of the product. He also stated that his refinery would meet the demands of Nigerians and sub-Saharan Africa. Let's take a look.
In the last 28 years, we haven't really had this sort of achievement, but you can see that even there are some videos of 1974, which we have fuel queues, and those fuel queues that are still here. This will eliminate all fuel queues in Nigeria. This will improve the health of everybody. This will also make sure that, there is consistent supply to the market. It will also bring the real demand of PMS, no paper transaction. It will also help to make sure that, it corrects this distortion of the Naira, bring stability to the Naira, bring growth, development, and prosperity.
Meanwhile, in a 2021 video now making the rounds on social media, during a foreign investors meeting held in New York, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, expressed optimism that the Dangote refinery will help stabilize the nation's currency when it becomes operational. Let's take a look.
Just pray somebody like Dangote would live long to see it. Nigerians will benefit from it. That project is one of Nigeria's backward integration programs. And we are very proud that it is coming to light. And indeed, we know that refineries that are abroad are already scared because they know the market they will lose, because Nigerians would prefer to patronize that than patronize foreign imported refined products where we will save transportation and logistics. Now, that is on the petroleum product. On the petrochemical is also supposed to be coming online about that same period, June, July next year. That petrochemical plant will be producing 900,000 tons of polyethylene and polypropylene granules. Nigeria's annual consumption of polypropylene and polyethylene granules is less than 200,000 tons. What does that mean? By contribution in import content, again, FX content, that is close to about 5% of our imports. If you save 5% of your imports, save another 30% in petroleum products, and then even fertilizer, that is almost maybe around that 2 to 3%, we're moving close to saving about 40% foreign exchange import for the country. By that time, you will see what we will be doing in terms of when most people talk about allow the market to float. We'll float the market, and then let's see how this currency will depreciate.
Well, as you can imagine, since this news broke yesterday, Nigerians have been reacting. Let's take some tweets, starting, of course, with billionaire Femi Otedola, who pinned a very long message to his friend, but we're only able to take a paragraph from it. He says, "My dear brother Aliko, first and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to President Bola Tinubu for his unwavering support and belief in actualizing this monumental achievement under his administration. This day belongs to every Nigerian who has dared to dream of a better future. Congratulations to our great nation. Today, we all stand a little taller." The next tweet there reads, "The color of gasoline in the Dangote refinery is a game changer." The refinery in itself is a game changer. A good day has come for car owners and the air we breathe in Nigeria. Pollution will minimize drastically. And the last tweet there reads, "We thank God the fuel queues can now vanish for good, and as the Naira regains its strength, prices of petrol and other essentials will begin to fall by the special grace of God. The government should also encourage encourage competition between Dangote refinery and other private refineries in Nigeria and Malta. The ultimate beneficiary of competition are the consumers. I hope this development will also nail the coffin of illegal refining and its consequent environmental pollution in Port Harcourt and the Niger Delta at large. All in all, things are looking up. I mean, it was on here where the breaking news happened. We covered it live. We're seeing that petrol. You know, it's exciting times, especially with the queues. I was asking if it hasn't affected you, but Nigerians are so happy about this. Dr. Abati, your comments.
Well, I mean, as we have said repeatedly in other segments, this is a landmark moment for Nigeria, a milestone, you know, for the oil and gas industry. And Mr. Femi Otedola is right to have said that, look, this is a game changer in terms of economic recovery for Nigeria. Another point that Mr. Otedola made, which is not in the statement that you quoted, is to remind us of how, at a time in this country, he and this Alaji Dangote, you know, under the Obasanjo administration, I think it was under the Obasanjo administration, they were to buy the Warri and Port Harcourt refinery, you know, to turn it around, you know, and reach this moment. But that was cancelled after the Umaru Yar'Adua administration assumed the office. And now it's like where they were many years ago. We've gone all the way back to that very moment. But this is the story of Nigeria, where, you know, some good policies will be introduced by an administration. Another administration will cancel it, and then many years later, you go back. So you have in Nigeria a recursive process, whereby we take 2 steps forward, we take 4 steps backwards. But it is good that everyone is hailing the completion of the Dangote refinery and its, production now about to go to the market. But there are issues on the ground to be resolved beyond the advantages that everyone has identified about creation of jobs, you know, infrastructure for the communities, reduction in terms of foreign exchange sourcing, fuel supply, meeting local domestic supply. Issues that have to be resolved will include issues around pricing. What price? 2, many Nigerians are expecting that this will reduce the cost price of fuel at the stations. Well, many experts have said that may not well happen. 3, what is the agreement between the NNPC Limited and also the Dangote refinery in terms of the supply of crude? So these are some of the issues that will still have to be addressed. But in terms of achievement, yes, it is a milestone.
Well, we're still on the, fuel price hike, and I'll come back to you once we just touch on this story, because the Nigeria Labour Congress has branded President Bola Tinubu a betrayer following the recent significant hike in fuel prices. In a statement signed by its president, Joe Ajero, the Labour Centre expressed shock and dismay at the clandestine increase in the pump price of premium motor spirit, describing it as a deep sense of betrayal. The NLC recalled that one of the reasons for accepting the 70,000 naira national minimum wage was the understanding that the pump price of PMS would not be increased. The Congress also accused the government of reneging on its promises and implementing ferocious right-wing market policies that have driven Nigerians to their all-time low. Now, getting reactions from the NLC following this price hike, they're calling the president a betrayer. Ayo.
I talked about this, but this is. I don't know what else to say. How many people would disagree with that statement? Remember that on this table, when the NLC organized labor had gone to negotiate with the government pertaining to the minimum wage for Nigerian workers. And when they reached the 70,000 naira agreement, a number of people criticized it. Some Nigerians were not happy, saying that when you compare that to the reality of their spendings, it wasn't going to be anywhere near enough. But they said that the president had given them an option, or 2 options. Give you your 250,000 naira, which you are asking for, and increase pump price of petrol to between 1,500 and 2,000 naira, or give you 70,000 naira and maintain the status quo. So fuel price will remain at 617 naira with some other added benefits. Guess what's happened? Well, they chose 70,000 naira saying that, the increase in fuel price had plunged a lot of Nigerians into, poverty, deeper suffering, hardship, the inflation, inflation effect on other areas, food inflation and the likes, people not being able to get to work, primary source of transportation affected, and many things. So they said, okay, we'll go for the second option so that at least we can use the 70,000 naira. What can the 70,000 naira do now that the price has increased to 897 naira, 879 naira? What is the take-home, minimum take-home 70,000 naira if you have to go to work every day, transport yourself? Because now, of course, we were talking about how,
has gone up.
Transportation costs have gone up. A lot of people, because they're going to not just put now in this current situation, the price of how much you bought PMS, but the suffering on the queue as well. Because it's not available, the prices have gone up, and now they're saying that this is even just the beginning. Let us expect more, perhaps we might even have more hikes in prices. You then wonder if this government is really in touch with the sufferings of the people. Only a few weeks ago, people came out to protest peacefully, complaining about the hardship that they are facing, asking that they should end hunger and poverty in Nigeria. Only a few weeks later, what is the response? A further hike in petrol price. Yes, say all the economic laws and principles and policies and things you may, but the truth is that the Nigerian on the streets is not thinking about the laws of supply and demand, the laws of price. They don't care about that. They just want to be able to feed their family. They just want to be able to have a government that works for the people and will not see people suffering now that president is away in China. Yes, he's getting deals in China, but what is the point of getting deals in China when your people in Nigeria are suffering? What is the point? So today I speak from my heart for a lot of Nigerians today. I don't know how people are coping, to be quite honest. Not only will transportation costs go up, but food prices will go up as well. Already, as it stands, when it was 617 naira, a lot of people were struggling to make ends meet. Then added to that is that they increased the prices in September when children have just started going, school has opened, so you have to pay school fees, you have to grapple with the cost of transporting your children to school, you have to grapple with the cost of transporting yourself to school. When will Nigerians catch a break? That break hopefully will come from the Dangote refinery, so congratulations to him. I like that you read out Mr. Femi Otedola's love letter to his friend.
Safe to call it that.
Alhaji Aliko Dangote, going back to the days of Blue Star Consortium when they wanted to get a stake in the Kaduna and Port Harcourt refinery and how that went bust. But to see, and he did praise President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for midwifing ensuring that this happened during his administration. He didn't see the end to that. And I'd said earlier, and I'll still say it again, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a responsibility to ensure that not only do we see the beginning of this happen, but that NNPCL in its responsibility to ensuring that there is enough supply to Dangote. The ball is literally in the court of NNPCL right now to ensure that this celebration is not short-lived, and that it actually works for the Nigerian people. In the area of price, I don't know to what extent Dangote refinery coming on stream would affect price of PMS. But congratulations to him. This dream has finally come to life. But let the government support and help Nigerians that are suffering. The suffering is too much.
Dr. Abasi, I wonder if you want to comment on this, on the NLC coming out to call the president a betrayer and further demanding the immediate reversal of the fuel price. Well,
that is to be expected. What the NLC president is telling us is that during the negotiation, there was an agreement. They had insisted on 250,000 naira as minimum wage. And Ajero is saying that the federal government reached an agreement with them that, okay, don't worry, we will not increase fuel price. So take 70,000%. Even that 70,000 naira that has been approved, I don't know of any state that has paid it. So the implementation itself is a problem. And on top of that, now the NNPC Limited has increased the pump price of fuel with the calculation that the pump price of fuel could still go higher. So which means that the gains of the non-existent, non-implemented 70,000 naira has already disappeared, even before implementation. Inflation, we just wipe it out. But can you blame NNPC Limited? The same NNPC Limited that has told us we are financially constrained, and we have a black hole of $6.8 billion dollars that we have to settle with our traders. We have debt obligations. So they will need to increase pump price of fuel, bring in some, some revenue to begin to reduce the debt obligation. And I was saying that, look, even at 8.97 naira per liter, it will not scratch the surface. Maybe they will be able within 2 months to reduce the debt by about 30%, and then traders abroad can augment whatever they can get from Dangote refinery. So we're in a very delicate situation. But how the NLC would react eventually remains to be seen. But what can be said is that the federal government should not wait till the NLC begins to talk about strike, industrial action, before they engage the NLC to say, well, the nation is at a crossroad. We all have to come together to solve this problem. Definitely. I think dialogue, early enough, could address some of the concerns.
All right, then. Well, let's move on now to another story. Fatima Musa Yar'Adua, the mother of the late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, has been laid to rest in Katsina State. Vice President Kashim Shettima, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, and his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed were among the dignitaries who attended the funeral prayer held at the Katsina Township Stadium. Fatima Musa Yar'Adua was the mother of the late General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua and the late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua. She died on Monday at the age of 102. She's survived by 4 children, including Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua of the Katsina Central Senatorial District. Let's take a look.
It's a loss of a colossus, of a matriarch who had given to this beautiful nation 3 great illustrious sons: the former Chief of Staff Supreme Headquarters, and a political icon in the north, the late Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, and now Senator Abdulaziz Yar'Adua.
It's a demise that is quite obvious, considering her age. We are grateful to God for sparing her life up to this point in time.
All of us have come to visit her. Everything told about her was a great life. May Allah forgive her sins and grant her eternal rest.
Well, there was that video that went almost viral yesterday where you could see Vice President Shettima, Peter Obi, and some other, and Atiku Abubakar as well, all on that bus heading down to Katsina State to, of course, pay their respects to Madam Fatima Yar'Adua. And I think it was just a bit surprising for Nigerians to see all these different politicians together under one roof, obviously going to pay their respects. And that in itself just led to a lot of conversation. But at the end of the day, what really matters is the life of this woman who, of course, raised 4 very beautiful, very influential children in Nigerian politics. Dr. Abati.
Well, Yar'Adua, as she's otherwise known, enjoyed the grace of longevity, and we thank the Almighty Allah for that. But more importantly, is a contribution to the Nigerian nation. This is the mother of General Yar'Adua. Yes. General Yar'Adua at the time was the number 2 man. General Shehu Yar'Adua was the number 2 man in this country. And at the time he wanted to even be president of Nigeria. And he was also, the leader of the PFN, a different PFN in the political circle, from which you had people like Waziri Adamawa Atiku, Abubakar emerging with a network, a strong political network across Nigeria. And he was a major figure in that struggle against, the military, dictatorship, against return to democracy at a point in this country. This is also a woman, who was the mother of the president of Nigeria. That's President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who was a junior brother to the general who died in Abacha's detention. And there are other Yar'Aduas, So if you are talking of a womb, that is truly blessed, and therefore, I'm not surprised that, the people, when they are to honor her for the contributions she must have made as a mother to this country. But beyond that, there was, yes, you were saying a lot of people were there. The vice president was there. Waziri Adamawa was there. The Speaker of the House of Representatives was in attendance. Mr. Peter Obi joined the delegation. The National Security Advisor were there. I mean, the delegation already speaks to the significance of the disease. But one thing that critics have noted is that President Buhari was conspicuously absent at the burial, and the expectation is that he, being in Katsina there, being a kinsman of the deceased and of the prominent children, will have been in attendance. But whether this is an occasion to talk about that or not, it's a different matter. I guess President Buhari can make his own choices as to which event he would like to attend. But just to put it on the table, that some people have made that kind of comment.
He sent his condolences. Yeah. He had written a statement saying that he was, just extolling the virtues of Hajiya Dada, saying that she was not just a mother to her children, but a mother to them and a mother to the nation. So he had said anything, but like you said, Dr. Bati, his presence, was obvious.
Definitely. Well, let's take our last story. The Nigerian police force has arraigned Isaac Bristol, also known as PDOM, on charges of money laundering, cybercrime, and unlawfully obtaining, retaining, and disseminating classified official secret documents. He was arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court, Abuja, on Tuesday. Isaac Bristol, known as PDOM Nigeria and 99% oppressed on X, was arraigned on 9 counts, but pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Following his plea of not guilty, Justice Nwite adjourned the case to the 23rd of September for the ruling of the bail application filed on behalf of the defendant. Justice Nwite also ordered the remand of the defendant in the Kuje Correctional Center. I mean, we only have like a minute or two to talk about this, but this has been very controversial because a lot of people are saying that at what point does, practicing journalism now become you revealing state secrets? And we'll continue to, follow this story. But Dr. Abati, quickly before we go.
Well, Bristol Isaac is classified by the National Cybercrime Center as a hacker. And that in that regard, he was hacking classified documents, belonging to the Nigerian government, the release of which could cause, a breach of public peace and compromise national security. And it was on this basis that he was arrested in Port Harcourt in a hotel and subsequently arraigned before the court of Justice Emeka Nwite, who has now ruled that he should be remanded, until further proceedings in the case at the Kuje prison. The latest development in the case is that 2 other persons have also been charged along with them, some reports say, and that's David Ndenye and a gentleman called Michael Alade. So the case is already before the court. We really cannot make comments, but they say it's about national security, tax evasion, fraud. We just hope that this is not about intimidation and that all the accused persons will be given fair hearing under both sections 35 and 36 of the Constitution. There were some phrases in the charge or in the statement I saw in the papers about Official Secrets Act. The Official Secrets Act has since been replaced by the Freedom of Information Act. There was some talk about sedition. Sedition is a colonial piece of legislation. We keep telling these policemen, they behave as if they don't have lawyers among them. But that is that about that.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I was just going to say that let's hope the key word, like Dr. Batili said, is fairness, fair hearing. I'm glad that they finally brought a charge to him. Remember how it all started? He went missing for a while, then finally the police admitted to having him. But very importantly is that if justice for one should be justice for all, I hope they can find Lagos PD and also charge him immediately as well. And let's reveal his, unveil who is behind it. I just hope so.
Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. Dr. Abati, I'll be going home with you as you'll be dropping me at home because there's no fuel in my car.
You have to be careful when you said that.
Not going home, just
when you said going home.
Just hitching a ride with you, please. That's all I have for you on what's trending today.